Greetings, I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thank you for logging on as we continue our journey through the FP Journe catalog. Today we discuss the FP Journe LineSport Centigraphe Sport Titan, 42mm with a handsome combination of darkened titanium and unique LineSport case with matching FP Journe manufacture bracelet in titanium. This timepiece offers the ability to discern increments of time as small as 1/100th of a second, superior power reserve, and the effortless lightness of a titanium watch with aluminum internals. First, let's discuss the fit and the feel. The standard Centigraphe is a 40mm watch. The LineSport Centigraphe Sport is a 42mm watch. Relatively slim at 11.3mm, it's the domed profile of the bezel that allows this sports timepiece to be worn regardless, with formal or informal attire, as it will easily slide underneath a tight cuff. Across the wrist, it's broader than the standard Centigraphe, but easily wearable. 51.7mm across the wrist on my 16cm circumference wrist. You can see that the watch is easily accommodated. It is feather light thanks to aluminum dial, aluminum manufacture caliber 1506, and full titanium clasp, bracelet, and case construction. Moving to the bracelet, you can see it's been designed in a fashion that sets it apart from FP Journe's precious metal bracelets. In substance as well as form, it is completely distinct. Rubber buffers help to protect the finish, and the bracelet itself joined to a double deployant clasp that closes resolutely thanks to quadruple spring-loaded pin snaps on both sides, robustly resisting accidental opening due to concussion or shock on the wrist. Every individual removable link featuring sizing screws rather than pins and sleeves. Another August Geneva manufacturer should take note. The timepiece does feature integration of lug and bracelet and case in the fashion of the great high horology sports watches of the 1970s. This watch is an homage to watchmaking history as well as a resolutely modern statement of technology. The timepiece featuring a crown in the FP Journe fashion with knurled edge and a reversing rocker system that gives the watch mono-pusher elegance but with twin trigger versatility. So this is a patented system, one of 2 patents issued for the watch. When you activate the timepiece, for all intents and purposes, the watch looks like a mono-pusher, but unlike a mono-pusher which cannot stop and then restart, this timepiece is able to stop and restart. Resetting resets the 1/100th of a second foudroyant dial, the 20-second dial, and the 10-minute dial. Press and hold, and all is zeroed. At center, a bezel featuring the characteristic FP Journe dial-style bolts, a fashion dating back to the very first FP Journe tourbillon remontoir of 1999, all appliqué numerals, and luminescent Journe biomorphic hands at center. You will note a railroad-style off-white cream track for reading of the minutes, and the numerals in FP Journe fashion of differential size based on their orientation with respect to the center bezel. FP Journe's standard Centigraphe features tachymeter scales on each of the individual registers. The LineSport features translucent sapphire that allows you to glimpse the internals of the mechanism, including the secondary escapement that allows the foudroyant to read intervals as small as 1/100th of a second. The namesake of the watch, Centigraphe, reflecting the accuracy of this subregister. Now, the timepiece is powered by an all-aluminum version of the standard Centigraphe's caliber 1506. Manually wound, it offers 80 hours of power reserve when the chronograph is stationary and 24 hours of power reserve when the chronograph is in action. Regardless of operation or stationary status of the chronograph, this caliber is able to sustain the amplitude of the balance by driving different trains for the civil time hours and minutes as well as the chronograph registers, both off the edge of the barrel, which is strategically situated at center, as well as the arbor or the center staff of the barrel. FP Journe effectively creates 2 separate drivetrains that prevent the draw of power from the chronograph from compromising the amplitude of the balance, thus the watch keeping perfect time regardless of chronograph operation. Pivoting on 50 joules and entirely hand-finished, the watch features a sports watch style free-sprung balance so it can take a precise adjustment in multiple positions and, in the face of bumps and disruptions on the wrist, maintain that precise regulation. You will note the balance is large in relation to the movement itself, with a polar moment of 10.1 milligrams per centimeter squared. That is a very large balance beating away at 21,600 vibrations per hour. The operation of the chronograph is through a crisp and traditional column wheel, so the tactile sensation of operating the monopusher rocker is exactly as you would expect in a classical chronograph, including those dating back to the pocket watch era that has inspired FP Journe broadly. Regardless, however, this is one of the most contemporary and progressive statements from the FP Journe brand. Lightweight, tough, precise, and innovative. This is the FP Journe LineSport Centigraphe Sport Titan. And we return with the FP Journe LineSport Centigraphe Sport Titan. A feel-good timepiece, glowing bright both in the night and as a beacon for medical research. Portions of the sale of each Centigraphe, regardless of variety, benefit the ICM. FP Journe, in partnership with his friend Jean Todt, former manager of the Ferrari Formula One team and president of the FIA, have decided that portions of the sale of each Centigraphe will benefit the ICM, an agency that seeks to cure spinal and brain injuries as well as find cures for diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. See this timepiece, a feel-good story, on our website, govbergwatches.com.